Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Hard Count Football Podcast Live. My name is Jacob Charnow, leading the next generation of football fans live on the Hard Count Football YouTube channel and right here on Bucs Report. This Sunday is the Super Bowl 55 matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're going to start the show off with some news, some basic housekeeping stuff. There's a lot going on in the NFL right now, a lot to talk about. And then we are going to get into the Super Bowl matchup because we have a lot of fun coming up. We have a ton of guests lined up, a lot of fun. We're going to have every person come on, give a 4 to 5 minute talk about the game, get a score prediction in there, and we're going to keep it going and talk to every single person. So with that being said, let's get right into it with some news. First, Bucs fans, this isn't the news you want to hear to start off, since I know you're having a great week, looking forward to it. But according to Greg Auman, the Super Bowl will be a neutral site game, which means the cannons will not fire at Raymond James. It will when the team is introduced, and it absolutely will if you guys win, but the cannons will not fire as normal. But everything else is good to go. You guys are good to go everywhere else. Be excited. Be excited for the Super Bowl. It is a long time in the making. Oh my God, it's about time. Okay. Let's start off with some quarterback news. The obvious one, the big trade of the week. Matthew Stafford gets traded to the Rams for Jared Goff, 2 future first-round picks, and a third-round pick. The Rams don't see their first-round picks as all that valuable. This is something we know, right? And we can be honest here. A lot of first-round picks don't pan out. The Rams' thinking is that either way, they won't be bad enough to have a good draft pick. And they see their Super Bowl window as right now, right? They have Jalen Ramsey in their prime, Aaron Donald in his prime, and a good receiving core and an overall just great defense with a good coach and good assistants and a really good coaching staff all around. You don't want to let that go to waste with an average quarterback in Jared Goff, or by taking a shot at a guy in the late 20s that may or may not work out for you. You don't have that. They want a guy that they know works, and we all know that Stafford does work. And I really like this move for the Rams because it really puts them in a position where they upgrade a few more positions and they are automatic Super Bowl contenders. I think that's how close this team is. I think that they are a quarterback away. I really do. And I will stand by that. And I think the Rams are going to be great next year, depending on what happens in free agency. Plus, now you get out of this Jared Goff contract and that whole situation, which went downhill so quickly. I felt like last week I was just saying how it's something to monitor, this Jared Goff situation. I didn't think it was going to end this quickly. Oh my God, this went downhill fast. And then on the flip side of this trade, Detroit now has Jared Goff as their starting quarterback. And I hate to say this, but this feels like the beginning of the end for Jared Goff. I just don't think that he's good enough to sustain a team. And with the Lions' talent around him right now, there's no way that he wins anything. The Lions have said multiple times that this is a rebuild for the future. This is something that they are trying to sustain. So realistically, Jared Goff is only a filler. He's going to crash down hard next year. I'm letting you know that he was a product of that Sean McVay system in play action and relying a lot on that run game. Fantasy players, look out for DeAndre Swift. He's going to have his upside is huge next year if they run this Lions offense the way they were running this Rams offense with Goff in it. But like I said, Goff's going to come down crashing hard, and then the Lions look in 2 years and have those extra first rounders to start turning that ship around. I feel bad for Goff, but Stafford now has a chance to prove to everybody that he can win these big games. A little bit more, I've heard the reports that the 49ers might be interested in Kirk Cousins if he becomes available. The Jets have received phone calls on Sam Darnold. This Deshaun Watson stuff is still going on. Nobody really knows what's going to happen, but this Stafford trade was just the first domino to fall in a long, long list of quarterback movement this offseason, probably more than we have ever seen. And what I can tell you is that times are changing. And before we can talk about the Super Bowl, I want to touch upon this. I want to talk about the Patriots. And I hate talking about the Patriots because I hate the Patriots. But this is some good. I like talking about this part. It came out that Matthew Stafford told the Lions front office that they can send him anywhere in the league besides New England. Anywhere in the league. Any of the other 30 teams in the NFL besides the New England Patriots. I think that's hilarious. And this shows a changing of the times. When Tom Brady was in New England, People wanted to be there. People want to surround themselves with greatness, not just in football, but in life. You want to surround yourself with greatness. It makes everybody around you better. But the reality is that there isn't really any greatness left in New England. Not as many people want to play for Belichick as you think. He's a hard coach to play for. He's a really, really hard coach to play for. It's cold there. And to be a quarterback there is awful. How could you want to be a quarterback in New England? They give you no weapons. Look at what Cam Newton was working with last year. Literally nothing. Cam Newton had nothing going for him in New England. And yes, he did not play well. He could not throw the ball. But look who he was trying to throw to. Come on. These Walmart receivers don't work with Cam Newton there. They worked with Tom Brady. And now Tom Brady takes that next step in Tampa, and now he's in a Super Bowl. Now he is playing in a Super Bowl for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucs fans, I know it's great for you, but come on. A year ago, this did not even seem like a possibility. And now you have Tom Brady. It's insane. There's a reason that Gronk and Leonard Fournette and Antonio Brown all wanted to go to Tampa. And Matt Stafford was okay with going everywhere else besides the Patriots. It's not a good place to be. The AFC East is getting better and better. The Bills, the Dolphins, and the Jets are all going to be better next year. And the Patriots aren't the top dogs anymore. The Patriot ship is going down. And it's already happening very, very quickly. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk Super Bowl. Tom Brady, like I said, he goes to the Buccaneers. And in his first year in the Bruce Arians offense, which is said to be extremely difficult for every single quarterback playing in it in their first year, Tom Brady makes it to the Super Bowl. That's ridiculous from what we've heard. We've heard Carson Palmer say that it's the hardest system he's ever played in. Andrew Luck, a bunch of these guys. It is hard to play in Bruce Arians' offense. Even Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston threw 30 interceptions last year in Bruce Arians in his first year of Bruce Arians' offense. It is a very, very hard guy to play for. And now Tom Brady's in the Super Bowl in his first year. And they will be facing the new top dogs in the NFL, better known as the Kansas City Chiefs, led by the new face of the NFL in Patrick Mahomes. Like I said, a very, very special show tonight. Since we have a bunch of fun stuff going on, we have a bunch of fun guests lined up. Each of them will have a few minutes to talk about the game and give me a score prediction. Well, they'll have more than a few minutes. It's going to be a lot of fun. So let's start off. Let's bring him in. First off, Deshaun Tisdale. Deshaun, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, Jacob? How are you doing today?
I'm doing really, really well. So let's talk about it. The Super Bowl is this Sunday. The Bucs are playing in it. They're playing the Chiefs. What are you expecting from this game?
My feeling in this game is that we'll see a Buccaneer team that comes out, kind of surprises people, just kind of executes out there. I think they go into a full playoff mode, if you will, with the run game as far as same combinations we've been seeing. I don't think we get a bunch of snazzy things that are happening differently in this Super Bowl game. Maybe one or two trick plays are always on the table, and that's provided if you need it. But if you can line up and do what you already do and win the game against a team, I imagine that's what we'll see. Defensively, I think we're going to surprise them. This team, we didn't have Jamel Dean the last time. We didn't have Vita Vea in the last time. Those are going to be key additions to a defense that was still able to hold, this team to 27 points. So I think right now the big part to me that's going to be on full display is that we're talking about a team that lost by 3 points when they absolutely were not themselves and not putting up 28 plus or 30 plus a game. Now we're talking about a team that's on the 7-game win streak that's put up 30 points a game, and the defense is playing phenomenal with takeaways, leading the NFL in sacks in the postseason and things of that nature. Probably picks as well at this point, and I'm just looking for maybe Sean Murphy-Bunting gets another pick, but I have Tampa winning this game, and I know I'm a homer, so I'm going to say that regardless. But I don't think that there's any Tampa Bay fans that have been around this 13-year drought and seen all the quarterbacks and the kickers and everything else go that, when we get to the game, the idea and the feeling for us is that, hey, we're winning this game.
Yeah, I mean, you look and you mentioned Sean Murphy-Bunting, and I think that he is kind of the unspoken defensive MVP of this postseason so far. He's had an interception in every single one of their games so far, and I mean that interception in the Green Bay game was ridiculous. He kind of just took that thing right out of his hands. He's been really, really good, and he's a guy. You look at him he was very average during the entire season. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't great. Right.
So I think the thing, Jacob. Well, let me say this, Jacob. In Sean Murphy-Bunting's defense, he's one of these guys that we have him doing a hybrid role for us. He's playing inside and outside. The techniques are definitely not the same, and then the personnel the routes that he's going to be defending are not going to be the same. He did have some injury, which Todd Bowles alluded to early in the season. We brought him back earlier than he should have been. I don't think that we had as much confidence in maybe Russ Cockrell to go inside into the slot or anybody else that's in the depth chart at that point. So he was, to be honest with you, based on Todd Bowles, he was clearly playing injured. So they were giving, him some leash on that. But at this point, he's doing exactly what's necessary to win games. So.
Yeah, and it's going to be, the big story from the last time you guys played was that first quarter. And you're not going to give up that again to Tyreek Hill. It's not going to happen. You're not going to give up that many points in such a short span. You know what to expect right out of the gate from this team. They can come out hot, but you also know that they can fall behind. And I think a huge part of this is going to be capitalizing right away and turning it into a game where Kansas City does have to come back. And I know that they are so good at it. We've seen them do it time and time again, but you have to start off hot. Because if you don't start off hot, then you see what happens to Kansas, and you see what Kansas City can do on you and capitalize on those mistakes.
Well, so I think when we talk about this Kansas City team, yes, they're a team that can come back, but I think the old adage of how you play football in the playoffs is going to just show itself hugely here, and that's going to be that we're going to run the ball a lot more. I think we will take a quick score. Make no mistake about it. This offense is an offense that can score quickly, and we will take and accept any quick points that we can get and, get something on the scoreboard and let our defense go play defense. However, I think that in some point in the game, because we deal with two factors here, Jacob, sometimes this team is being in New York, you can go out to Long Island, you go out to Jones Beach and things of that nature. You see the boats going by, but when they're coming out the pier, when they're coming off the docks, that you can hear the motors, but you don't see them moving, right? It's not until they get past the yellow buoy out there that they can open up that motor. And it's just that Tom Brady is just sitting on the throttle right now for this Tampa Bay offense. And once he gets what he wants to see, he just cracks that throttle, full throttle. And I mean, this team is just off to the races. And I don't think that there's, if it comes to a shootout, some people are predicting a shootout. I don't know what you take in this game, Jacob, but I foresee this defense playing a lot better than people are anticipating. So a shootout to me doesn't seem as likely with this defense just playing the way that they're capable of playing with two backup tackles in the game, basically, for them. So, and with Vita in there able to push the pocket, like you've seen the effect of him pushing the pocket. I mean, we talk about, not getting pass rush to the point of both of our defensive end and outside linebackers are meeting at the quarterback consistently against a Green Bay team that hasn't been touched aside from Tampa, so this is a game we didn't have Vita previously in this game. And now our corners are playing so sticky. You had that Revis Island with the Jets. You know what it is to have a sticky corner out there.
Yes, I did.
Doing it because he wasn't the same when he came to Tampa. He was just kind of collecting a check when he came down here. But when he was with the Jets, oh boy, he was an island, and I think that's the type of corner play and secondary play that we're getting. And I believe everybody to be healthy. I know they didn't check everybody off on the list. I could not imagine any player giving up the opportunity to do something in the Super Bowl. And clearly, we talk about offensively. I'll give you this. I can imagine that we're going to see AB. He's due to get, I think, $750,000 or something like that, as long as we we just win this game, he'll get paid again. He's been getting tons of paydays. I didn't even realize he had a payday at 45 receptions. So I mean, dude, Tom's gonna get him a touch, or something. And he's gonna get targeted if he's in the game. Even if he has to come in and they have to just pitch it to him that make one catch, he's gonna get that.
110%. I completely agree with you. Deshaun, thank you so much for joining me, man. Go ahead, promote yourself. Tell us where we can find you.
Hey guys, check me out this Thursday and every Thursday right here on Bucks Report, 7 p.m. Thursdays. Tune in this week. We got a good show for you.
Of course, man. I appreciate it, man. Enjoy this. Oh, wait, before you go, let's get a final score prediction for you this Sunday. What you got?
Hey, I'm actually going 34-21 Tampa wins.
All right. Good to hear. Good to hear. All right. I'll see you, man. Deshaun, thank you so much for joining me.
No problem, man. Have a great one.
You too. All right. Let's move on. Let's bring in the host of the Sports Web. Let's bring him in. Peter Blake. What's going on, man? How are you doing tonight?
Well, we got 5 days until Super Bowl 55, so I'm doing great. I'm just breaking down this game. We had some breaking news about an hour ago. No cannons are going to be fired in that stadium, so there's definitely going to be some disappointment with the fans. But besides that, I think everybody's looking at this matchup, Brady versus Mahomes. And for me, Deshaun definitely hit on it. It's all about the defense. I said this last year with Kansas City's offensive line. I wasn't sure if they could block San Francisco's defense, and I'm not sure without both starting tackles if they're going to be able to do the same thing versus a Vita Vea, a JPP, and a Shaq Barrett. So that's one of my keys to this game. But to answer your question, it's Super Bowl 55. How do you think I'm doing here on the Sports Web, the evolution of sports talk television, brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts?
It's gotta be great. I mean, listen, are you not at least a little bit stressed? You have to be a little stressed.
No, not at all, because this is the reason why you're the flagship of Bucks Report. This is the reason why you do all these shows, and people asking right now, what's a good watch party? Hello, it's the Deck Bar and Grill in East Seoul for your pre-half and post-game editions of the Sports Web, where you get an opportunity to be on camera, where you get an opportunity to say what you want to say, being a Bucks fan or being a National Football League fan, and even Chiefs fans are welcome on the Sports Web. So definitely pumped up, not stressed out at all. It's natural for me, just like when you do your show on here, it's natural for you.
Yes, let's talk about this defense, okay? Because people criticize this defense. I don't know why. This is a really, really good defense. And the Chiefs are missing their Pro Bowl left tackle in Eric Fisher. And that is going to hurt a lot more because now you also have to double team a guy like Vita Vea. But then that also leaves a guy like JPP to eat. That leaves a guy like Shaq Barrett to get sacks. I understand Mahomes can scramble, but if you're scrambling every time because the Chiefs' run game is good, right? Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a good running back. Le'Veon Bell is below average now, but they are not going to tear apart the Bucs defense because nobody has been able to. And now people can't even really pass on the Bucs defense, which was something that we were concerned about all year. We knew this run defense was great. We were concerned about the secondary. Now, if Jordan Whitehead's healthy, this is one of the best young secondaries in the league with Antoine Winfield and Jordan Whitehead. Go ahead, talk a little bit about this defense and how good they really are.
I mean, look how they played versus the Saints, causing turnovers, not necessarily causing sacks, and then you get Vita Vea back. He comes back versus the Green Bay Packers, and what a difference, right? One player can make 340-pound defensive lineman that's going to take up not only space, but is going to have that penetration to cause those double and triple teams where you free up the guys on the outside, and you have 5 sacks versus an Aaron Rodgers. You definitely have confidence right now in this defense with the way Devin White and Levante David are playing. You definitely have confidence right now with the way Sean Murphy, Bunting, and Carlton Davis. And you know that Davis wants to redeem himself with the type of day he had versus a Tyreek Hill. So there's a lot of things on the line. The Chiefs, they don't necessarily like to run the ball. They're going to try to run the ball, but it's not going to work. At the end of the day, it all comes down to Patrick Mahomes. And can he make plays versus this defense? And then on the other side, can this defense get enough pressure on a Patrick Mahomes where you force him into some throws or you cause a fumble like the first matchup? So to me, it's definitely going to be a chess game between Todd Bowles, Andy Reid, and Eric Bieniemy, and I'm definitely down for it.
Right. And I mean, the reality is you're not going to stop this Chiefs team from scoring points, right? They'll score points on you no matter what defense it is. But I think the fact that when you look at what you guys did to an offensive line like the Saints, an offensive line like the Packers, who even though they were missing their left tackle as well, you still like you said, 5 sacks against Aaron Rodgers, and not all of them were against that left tackle. A lot of them were up the middle. A lot of them were off the other side. I think you guys are going to get to Mahomes quite a few times this game.
I definitely think the Bucs can do that, and I think it has to be the key. It's been the key all year long. And then again, on the other side of it, if you want Tom Brady to operate like we know he can operate, right? 40 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. You see what he's done in the postseason. You got to give him time. You still got guys like Chris Jones, who's definitely a defensive lineman that can cause some havoc. You got a Frank Clark on the other side. And then, of course, a Honey Badger in the secondary. Besides that, would you not agree here, Jacob, that this defense isn't as talented as the Saints defense, not even as talented as the Green Bay Packers? So you feel like that maybe here you're going to have an advantage offensively if your offensive line continues their play like they've done in the postseason, right?
Yes, I've been saying this all year. They are certainly extremely vulnerable. This Chiefs team has been close to a lot of, if it wasn't for Patrick Mahomes, this team wouldn't be in the playoffs. That's the reality, right? But that's kind of an obvious thing, right? With the Packers without Aaron Rodgers wouldn't be in the playoffs. The Bucs without Tom Brady wouldn't be in the playoffs right now. That's it. This defense, and you look at it, you look at this Chiefs defense, and you see the talent at those certain positions. You're right. Tyrann Mathieu, great player. Frank Clark, Chris Jones, very talented guys. But then you look at the linebackers are average, right? The corners are average. They don't have that lockdown number one corner. Who? Rashad Breeland? He's not going to do anything against Mike Evans or Chris Godwin or Antonio Brown, right? Tyrann Mathieu can cover Gronk. He covers the tight end. And how much has Gronk even worked into this offense anyway? He mainly chip blocks. That's his main role on this team. And he can do it, but he can get out there. But so can the other 3 guys. And on top of that, you also have Scotty Miller and Tyler Johnson, all these guys who can make plays. This Chiefs defense, like I said, extremely vulnerable. And if there's one team that I think is going to be able to take advantage of it, it is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And if you don't think that the Chiefs were worried coming into this offseason, looking at the Super Bowl and saying, I think I'd rather play anybody else besides Tampa, then you're wrong, because they are 100% scared of Tampa and Tom Brady and Bruce Arians and Todd Bowles.
And you look at the recipe for success here, Jacob, it's running the ball, right? I mean, you got playoff Lenny and Leonard Fournette. You got the victim of volume and a Ronald Jones against the 21st ranked defense of the Kansas City Chiefs. So that may be another matchup. And you look again at the recipe for success to take the pressure off of a Tom Brady, to provide balance to this offense. That's what you have to do. And then if you play good defense, you definitely have an opportunity to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, because time of possession and ball control, you keep Mahomes off the field with running the ball, and basically you set yourself up for big plays down the field. And we know that Brady likes to go down the field 20 yards with pass play action. How do you accomplish that? By running the ball with the Leonard Fournette or, once again, a Ronald Jones.
Yes, 110%. Peter, let's get it. Let's get your final score prediction for this Sunday.
Oh, no, my friend. You're not going to get that. You're not going to get that. You're going to have to tune in to the evolution of Sports Talk Television here live on Bucs Report for your pregame show, which most likely will start about 2 o'clock. We'll go probably about 3 or 4 hours. Get your phone calls. I'm not giving you the prediction until that game is about to start. So definitely tune in to Bucs Report for the Advanced Auto Parts, Sports Web, the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Remember, absolutely join us at the Deck Bar and Grill in Isla del Sol if you want to get on camera and be a part of this great celebration on Sunday. Super Bowl 55 between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Great job, Jacob.
Thanks, Peter. I'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
See you, man. All right, let's move on. Once again, this time, he's been waiting in here quite patiently for a while. Let's bring him in. First-time guest on this show, the only first-time guest on this show so far that we're going to have tonight. Let's bring him in, Liam Mitchell. Liam, what is going on, man? How are you?
Jacob, how's it going, man? I'm so excited. Super Bowl 55. I've been waiting for this almost my whole life, man. I was 7 years old last time we were in the Super Bowl. I'm so excited. Traveling to Tampa this weekend for the game. I'm in California right now.
Oh,
but I
that's a
cannot
long
wait.
trip.
Oh yeah.
Worth it though. Worth it. I mean, if my team's in the Super Bowl, I'm traveling to wherever they are playing. My team's not going to be in the Super Bowl for a while. I'm a Jets fan, unfortunately, but it's got to be exciting. It's Peter said he wasn't stressed. Liam, are you stressed out about this game, even the tiniest bit, having to go up against Mahomes and Andy Reid?
No, you know what? I'm confident. I'm very confident. This is a Bucks team that's won 7 straight games, longest winning streak in Bucks history. We haven't actually lost a game since that last Chiefs game, and I almost look at it as a blessing in disguise that we played them earlier this season. If you look at that first Chiefs game in Week 12, right out the gate, that first half, the Bucks ran single high safety coverage pretty much the whole first half. As we know, Tyreek Hill, 203 yards in that first half. Jamel Dean was out in that game. Vita Vea was out in that game. In the second half, Todd Bowles and the defense adjusted. 80% of the time, we were in 2 high safety coverage and 2 high safeties, and kind of shut them down in that second half. Not completely, but had a lot more success. I expect to see more 2 high safety coverage and maybe a little more Jamel Dean on Tyreek Hill being the fastest corner on this team. And then guys like Deshaun and Peter alluded to it, no Eric Fisher, no Mitchell Schwartz. Man, Shaq Barrett and JPP, I expect them to eat on Sunday and get some hits on Patrick Mahomes and force some turnovers.
Yeah, and I mean, what we saw in the first time these teams played was what we saw for most of the regular season with the Bucks, which was a 3-quarter team, right? No matter what 3 quarters it was, they really only played 3 quarters of a football game. In the playoffs, I think probably from week 15 on, it's been all 4 quarters this team has been playing, and they look like the best team in the NFC, which is why they're now in the Super Bowl. They've had to overcome. I mean, Drew Brees and the Saints, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, and now if they win the Super Bowl here, they have to beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. It's a crazy path. They earned it. I mean, you can't say that they just eased their way into a Super Bowl, because there's no way that's true. And as long as what we saw with Tyreek Hill isn't going to happen again. That's the reality. Is they know what to expect. And like you said, it is kind of a blessing in disguise, because guess what? You might have lost the game, but that final 3 quarters, if you just watched the second quarter to the fourth quarter, you would have thought you won the game. You would have thought you won. You guys just played better. And that's, like you said, missing Jamel Dean, Vita Vea, guys who have a big impact on this defense, who are big parts of it. Vita Vea is a great run stopper. So that eliminates a whole nother part. So now you're forcing Mahomes to pass. You force Drew Brees to throw the ball. You see what happens. You forced Aaron Rodgers to throw. He threw a few interceptions. And now you have Patrick Mahomes. And Mahomes has been, I don't think people realize that he has been prone to turnovers the last few weeks. His turnover, I don't know what his turnover ratio is in the second half of the season, but they almost lost that Dolphins game. Don't forget that game, because that was big. And that was against a good defense like the Dolphins, who they do remind me of the Bucks a little bit, right? Good linebackers, a good defensive line, decent core. I mean, the Dolphins have significantly better corners, but that's just, Xavier Howard and Byron, that's just a good team. And then the safeties are good. It's just a good defense, and a well-coached defense too. Todd Bowles is great. I don't think the Chiefs are going to tear apart the Bucks like they have everyone else. We knew the Bills' defense wasn't what it was last year, right? Coming into this year, they were a little bit worse. They were missing a few guys. They had some guys leave. The Bucks probably have the one of, if not the best defense in the NFC right now, and they're going to show up in this game. I don't expect anything less. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think they're absolutely going to show up. I think on both sides of the ball throughout the playoffs and over these last 7 weeks, the chemistry just keeps building. This team just keeps getting better and better. They're getting healthier for the most part. I hope we can see Antoine Winfield and Jordan Whitehead out there. That could be a big factor in the game. But I agree. I think this defense is just going to get after Mahomes. I think they're going to hit him. I absolutely don't think Tyreek Hill is going to have a day like he did back in week 12. And kind of like that Chiefs game, how we kind of climbed back, we've just been getting better down the stretch this season. I think Mike Evans is going to have a big day on Sunday. Peter said it just a few minutes ago. I think this Chiefs defense isn't as good as Green Bay's, isn't as good as New Orleans. I think the Bucs are going to put up points. There's no one other than Tom Brady you'd want under center in a Super Bowl. So I just have the utmost confidence. I just saw Jenna Lane. I don't know if this was true. I saw Jenna Lane tweet something like Tom Brady's family just went on vacation for a whole week so we could watch film and have more time to watch film. Only Tom Brady, man. He's
Tom. And then on the flip side of that, you hear this Gronk story now of how he just put on different shirts during his pre-camp workouts and just sent in different videos to the coaches to make it seem like he was doing it, but he did it all in one day. Listen, before the season, I said the only reason that I was worried about Tampa was because it kind of felt like a free-range team, right? Versus what it was in New England, right? Gronk's going to be able to do what he does. Tom Brady's going to be able to be a little more loose, and he's going to make that locker room a lot, I guess, happier, more confident than they were last year because you finished the season, what were they, 7-9, I think? Did they finish 7-9 last year?
7-9 last year.
Like, that's not a good record, right? That's not something, that's not something you want that you're like, oh, I mean, we're close. Like, you're not close, right? You need to win 2 more games to even really be considered for the playoffs at that point, unless you're in the NFC East. But it's, I just, and then you add Tom Brady. And like I said before earlier when I was talking about Stafford, people want to surround themselves with greatness. And it makes everybody better. And that is exactly what happened with Tom Brady.
Everyone wants to come play. It becomes an attraction to come play when a guy like Tom Brady is on the team. Guys like Leonard Fournette, AB, they want to come play in Tampa. It makes it an attractive place to play. So that's what a guy like Tom Brady can do. And it just, that energy, it just feeds, it fires up the locker room. And you can see it that, again, like I keep saying, that chemistry, it just kept building throughout the season. And I hope it carries over into this Super Bowl. Man, I'm kind of bummed no cannon fire.
Yeah.
But hopefully we hear some after the game. So,
I mean, if you win, they're getting played. That's what I'm hearing from Greg Allman. So that's
good.
If hopefully we hear them. That's all I'm going to say there is hopefully we hear them played at some point because, wow, I mean, the first team already to be playing in their home stadium in a Super Bowl and then to win the Super Bowl in your home stadium is ridiculous in front of your home fans and like 7,500 nurses.
That's why I'm going to Tampa. I mean, even though I can't be in the stadium, if the Bucs win this game, I can't even imagine just how crazy the city is going to be going, how electric it's going to be. I had to be there to just feel that and witness that and be a part of that, being a fan of this team for so long.
110%. It's going to be very, very exciting. Let's talk a little bit about, I hate to say next season, but Tom Brady didn't have OT. He didn't have anything in person. This whole team had nothing in person. They've dealt with the same struggles as everybody else did, right? Everybody else coming into this COVID season, this unknown. No one knew what was going to happen. No one even knew if we were going to have a season, let alone a full season with no forfeits, no anything. I would say the season was a success overall. Yeah. Absolutely.
To play all the games, 100%.
To play all the games, that was a ridiculous feat that no one thought was going to happen. I can't think of a way that this team, because I mean, we knew when they started off week 1 slow against the Saints, and then it started off and it was a little bumpy, but we knew that they were going to get better as the season. I was harping on that. This team is only going to get better because they're a new team, a lot of new guys, a lot of new pieces, new quarterback, head coach duo. It's going to be tough. Could you imagine what this team is going to do when they have that preseason, hopefully, and the OTAs and practice and all that? Oh, my God.
That's what I was saying. I mean, we're in a pretty good cap situation right now. We want to get Chris Godwin back in the building. And like you said, no preseason. I mean, it takes time, as we know, in Bruce Arians' offenses to kind of get used to his system. And now with a whole year, 20 games under Tom Brady's belt, chemistry with these receivers, it sounds like Gronk's going to come back. I can't see how this team doesn't go anywhere but up. I can't see how they go down. I absolutely, as of right now, I think they'd be better than their 11-5 record this year. I sure hope so. And I can't see how they'd get any worse with this situation.
You mentioned wanting Chris Godwin back. Would you rather lock up a guy like Chris Godwin versus a guy like Shaq Barrett or versus a guy like someone else? Because I mean, this kid Tyler Johnson, I loved the pick immediately. I was saying how I love that pick as soon as you picked him, and now he's gonna be really, really good. And I think that he could fill that hole that Godwin would leave pretty well. Same thing with Scotty Miller. I don't think you guys need Chris Godwin back if it's going to save you money. What do you think?
I'm a bit biased. I love Chris Godwin. Okay. I love when we drafted him. Being from California, I was a USC guy, and he tore up USC in the Rose Bowl that year. So I was stoked when we drafted him. He's had the highest catch percentage in the NFL the last 2 years. But you're right. Like when you look at it with Tyler Johnson, with Scotty Miller, with Mike Evans, it's almost like, do we need him back compared to a guy like Shaq Barrett on the defensive side of the ball, getting pass rush on the quarterback? I don't know. I love Chris. I want Chris Godwin back in the building over a Shaq Barrett, and then maybe look in the draft for another edge rusher.
Yes.
But who knows? Maybe we can get both of them back in here. I sure hope so. I don't want to lose anybody from this team with the success they've had, but it's a business and you never know. I love Chris Godwin though. He's had a bit of the dropsies here in the playoffs, but he's still, he bounced right back with that same 52-yard catch.
Yeah, for sure. Liam, thank you so much for joining me today, man. Go ahead, give us your final score prediction and tell us where we can find you.
I'm going to go with the Bucks 31-24, 7-point game. I think we'll do just enough to win this game, just enough offensively and defensively to win our second Super Bowl, this one at home. Guys, come check me out. Bucks Archive with Liam Mitchell on YouTube. Post all kinds of Bucks highlights on there. A lot of former player highlights, current player highlights. I got a lot of stuff coming out after the Super Bowl for highlights from this season. So please come subscribe. Appreciate all you guys that do. And thank you so much. And thanks, Jacob, for having me on, man. It was fun. Thanks for having
me. For sure, man. I'd love to have you back on soon. All right.
All right. You have a good one.
You too, man. Enjoy the Super Bowl. All right. Moving on. Once again, these guys have been in here so long. I'm sorry. I'll get you guys all on soon. Let's bring them in. Joshua Cole Allen. Josh, what's going on, man? How are you?
What's going on, man? Just battling this COVID, but doing great.
Ooh.
Bucks are in the Super Bowl. Almost here. Having a blast during media week, talking to some of these guys and coaches, but I'm excited.
Yeah. Overall, though, how are you feeling, man, with the COVID?
I'm all right. Mild symptoms. A little sore,
Yeah.
a little tired, but so far I've been blessed with some mild symptoms with it, so can't complain.
Yeah, for sure, man. Let's bring the mood up a little bit. Let's talk about the Bucks. Let's talk about the Super Bowl because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in the Super Bowl. That is crazy, right? That is not a phrase a lot of people thought they were going to say a year ago.
Yeah, coming onto this the Bucks report and covering this team, I had a good idea that they'd make it. Peter's been preaching Super Bowl or bust, and I've been right behind him. The collection of talent, Tom Brady. I told the fans at the beginning of the season, they were all very much in doubt, and I said, Tom Brady's here. Just let it go. Forget about the past. Forget about what you think you know. Tom's here. We're gonna get this done. And lo and behold, here we are. Just a couple months later, and they're in the Super Bowl in Tampa, playing at home, making history.
Yes, it is. It's fantastic to watch. I'm very excited for this game. Josh, what are you expecting from this game on Sunday?
As everybody else, I'm very confident. The way this team matches up both offensively and defensively against this Chiefs team, it looked really well on paper and on the field. I'm going to say that this is going to be a game of pressures, both offensively and defensively. Offensively, it's limiting the pressure and the impact that a guy like Chris Jones and Frank Clark can have on you. We all know Steve Spagnuolo is a defensive coordinator who kind of dug up and developed the kryptonite for Tom Brady going back to 2007 with that interior pressure. And whenever you hear someone talk about what's the best way to get to Tom Brady, what do they say? Interior pressure.
Yeah.
And they have one of the best defensive linemen in the game to do it. That's going to be a point of emphasis. Aaron Stinney has looked very well in Alex Kappa's place, but he's still a guy who's only started 2 games in his career. I'm looking at Ali Marpet, Ryan Jensen, Stinney, and these guys to really contain that interior pressure. On the flip side, defensively, what can be said about going against 2 backup tackles? And one of them in Reimers, who literally got manhandled by Von Miller 5 years ago in that Super Bowl. Now, I know it's 5 years ago and he might not be the same player, but he's not a starting player. So, Shaq Barrett was on that team, so he might know a thing or two. But just not just on the outside of the tackles. Vita Vea, you mentioned it. You got to get 2 hands on him, and not from one player.
Maybe four.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You got to get 2 hands and not from one player. You got to double cover him. And even then, he won the angry runs last week from Good Morning Football, but from the way he just bulldozed over Green Bay's starting center. He didn't get to Aaron Rodgers with a sack, but that's the type of pressure that he can provide up the middle. And you have to get two hands on him. He frees everything up for not just the JPP and the Shaq Barrett, but also for Ndamukong Suh, Will Ghostin. And if they decide to stunt with Devin White or Levante David, he's a big guy that takes up two spots, right? Two blockers right there. So it's going to be a lot of pressure on the defensive side, but calculated pressure. Todd Bowles needs to make sure that he's being very smart with it and not giving up an opportunity for Clyde Edwards-Helaire to beat you on a flat route or over the middle, or Tyreek Hill on a drag route over the middle or anything like that.
Yeah, and I think that even if you guys don't game plan towards the run, it won't be a problem, right? The Chiefs, they already aren't a great rushing team, even against like bad defenses. They don't rush for a lot of yards; it's just not their thing. So going against the Bucs, I don't think that's going to be a priority of theirs. Trying to get the ball on the ground. I think they're going to try and beat you over the middle a lot. They're going to try and beat you with speed. That's what they're going to do. The same thing to you that they're doing to everybody, right? They have a lot of trick plays and whatever, but the Chiefs, especially against this Bucs defense, I don't think they have as many ways to beat you as you think they do, right? Because they can beat you with the speed and they can beat you with Mahomes, and that's it. That's literally the only way. They're not going to beat you defensively, right? They're not going to beat you with the run. I can't think of it. What do you think?
Yeah, and you mentioned it too. Jamel Dean wasn't in that game, and you know everyone's hoping that Winfield and Whitehead will be available. I don't see a scenario in which they don't go unless Whitehead's shoulder is completely torn off the bone. Maybe a couple shots, and he's going to be in that game as much as he can. But that's the way that they can beat you is as you just said, the speed, crossing routes over the middle. You got to really watch out for the wasp as well. But having Dean back is going to be a big benefactor of that. Being able to match up as long as he doesn't get bit on some double moves. But Mahomes is the reason right there that, you know, they're so explosive and they're always in it. I mean, you talked about them being down deficits all of last year in those playoffs. I mean, to Tennessee, to Houston, to San Francisco in the Super Bowl. They can come back and beat you at any time. That's one thing that you have to make sure. Now, it does work in their favor that, you know, both of their tackles are out and Mahomes is still battling turf toe. He's had 2 weeks to kind of heal up a little bit, but he's still going to need surgery after the season. And, you know, he might not have the same mobility that he has. You got to contain him and make sure he can't beat you scrambling out of the pocket and extending plays. You want to keep him wrapped up in that pocket where Vita Vea can push the pile towards him and the guys on the outside can push it into him. So,
yes, I completely agree with you. Josh, I got a ton of guys I got to go, but I'm glad that you came on. I really appreciate it, man. Go ahead, promote yourself. Tell us where we can find your stuff because you have a lot of fun stuff going on right now, don't you?
Yeah, right now I'm all on Media Week. So I've been in these rooms doing interviews with the guys. I'll have a bunch of articles out. Just trying to rest up. These media, they're a trip, man. You're in one room, then you're in the next room, then you're in one room, then you're. But I'll have some articles coming out before the Super Bowl, detailing some of these questions and answers that I got. I'll be on the pregame show the Super Bowl Sunday with Peter Blake and the Sports Web, brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts. The Audible's coming back, guys. It's coming back soon. So just gonna, you know, we're just building up to it. But thank you always, Jacob,
yes,
the prodigy. You're just amazing at what you do, man. And I'm thrilled to have you a part of Bucs Report and, you know, to be on your show with you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Of course, start feeling better. You got the vid. It sucks. I know it's annoying. Listen, just feel better, get some rest, and we'll hope to have you back at full health soon.
Absolutely. Have a good one, man.
You too, man. I'll see you. And then now, finally, these guys have been waiting long enough. Let's bring them both in here at once. First up, we got Johnny Dean, the professor, and Tyler. We have Tyler Bradshaw coming up. He is not at his computer right now. So let's talk to Johnny. Johnny, what's going on, man? How are you?
How's it going, buddy?
I'm doing all right. I'm excited. I'm sure you are. You're excited for Super Bowl. Like, here we go. We got Tyler back. Let's bring Tyler in here. Tyler, what's going on, man?
What's going on? You just caught me with like rice hanging out of my mouth from Chipotle, but I'm good, man.
Yes. Okay. All right. We are all excited. for this. I appreciate you guys sticking around. It was I had a lot more people than I thought were going to come on today, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad I got you guys both on. Are you guys excited for Super Bowl week?
Does a dog wag its tail?
Yes. I think I was talking to everybody. They were all picking the Bucs. I think that if there was anybody I know that was going to pick the Chiefs in this game, it was going to be Johnny, but I doubt it. I doubt that you're going to pick the Chiefs, but let's hear it. What do you think?
No, I'm not picking the Chiefs. I'm not actually picking the game. I'm not making a prediction as far as score goes. I'm too invested in the Buccaneers to do that, so it wouldn't be an unbiased pick, right?
Yes.
But I'm going to tell you, I believe that the number one key to this game we've seen since week 12, I think it was, when it really started showing, was the depth that this team has. In the first part of the season, the Buccaneers were getting tired at the second half of the games. We'd give up points, and stuff like that. We haven't done that lately. Our depth with Vita coming back and our full complement on that team, on that roster, that defense is going to hold up, and it's basically because of the depth. We can take a team to the fourth quarter, to the last minute, and that defense is going to be there. To me, that's the biggest key in this game. You could have those starters out there, and by the third quarter, they're going to be wore out without the depth.
Yeah, for sure.
I've seen that over and over. Like last year, when Jameis would keep giving the ball back to the opposing team, we saw that. We saw the wear and tear that went on with the defense at that time. We don't have that problem this year, and that was my issue at the beginning of the year, when I was like, it's not Super Bowl or bust, because we still have places to fill in this team. Well, they filled those holes. I didn't expect that, but the Brady effect. Everybody wants to play for Brady. So we filled a lot of those depth gaps on this team. Man, we had a drop-off when Vita went out, but it wasn't nearly the drop-off I expected. And that amazed me. They stunted a lot, and they did a lot of scheme to fill that gap. But it was less of drop off than I had planned on because of that, and because they brought in players to fill those gaps. And I see this team winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and everybody else has already talked about their reasons, and I agree with every one of those reasons that they've said. But the depth, man, is, to me, the most crucial part in this game.
Yeah, Tyler, what do you think?
I agree with Johnny Dean. To me, the biggest key to every game, I've preached it all year long, I've preached it my entire life, is football games are still, no matter what the league is, no matter where it goes, football games are still won in the trenches. Fortunately for us, we're healthy. Unfortunately for them, they're going to be missing two big pieces on their offensive line. And it's going to give us a really good opportunity to get to Patrick Mahomes, maybe him hurry up a little bit, and hopefully force some turnovers. I think there's no way Tyreek Hill has the game that he had against us, and the last time we played, we're going to get safety help. Carlton Davis is going to play, but I mean, you can't fault Carlton Davis to a certain extent. That Tyreek Hill, we all know, has burners. You have to get him help over the top, no matter what. I think we're going to do that, and I think just our ability to get to the pass rusher is going to be huge for us in this game. And when we played him in week 12, we weren't playing our best football at the time. We were coming off a couple losses in a 4-week stretch. And right now we're at the peak of our season, and we've been tending to get better coming into this game. And to be completely honest with you, you've asked a couple guests, are you stressed? I was more stressed, even though the magnitude of this game is huge. It's the Super Bowl. I was more stressed about going up against the Packers because it is Aaron Rodgers, and I think their defense is a little bit better than the Chiefs' defense.
And I think you look at it and you're like, if you lose in the NFC Championship, you just kind of die off, right? No one talks about you.
Right.
You're in the Super Bowl, right? Win or lose, you guys made it to the Super Bowl. People are still talking about the Niners last year because they were a Super Bowl team, right? I mean, and the expectations next year immediately go up. But I'll get to my prediction in a little bit, but I haven't gotten to any of these comments, and I think you guys would love to get to some of these comments too, because there is a lot going on right now. Nick says Chiefs are going to clap the Bucs 35-17. We'll see.
He spelled the Bucks with 2 C's, so that's irrelevant.
It's an irrelevant comment. Bucks Life says, what's up? Chris says, what's up, Jacob? What's going on? Johnny, you said the AFC East is opening up quite a bit now. I completely agree with you. Hopefully for my Jets. Chris says, a year ago, we were a laughing stock. What a difference a year makes.
That is the Brady effect. That is the Brady effect. And
That is solely the Brady effect right there, because the reason we were a laughing stock last year is counting pick sixes.
And Jacob, you asked Liam a little bit ago, do we want to see the Bucs pay Chris Godwin? I mean, I think we all want to see that, but also at the same time, Antonio Brown has made it pretty clear he wants to play in Tampa again next year, and I think he'll do that for a low price. I think everybody wants to play with Tom Brady, so if we can keep a pass rusher and let Chris Godwin go, as bad as the trade-off feels, it's probably the right move over the course of the next few years.
And when you look at Antonio Brown, you have to think about his mind. Like, this is not insulting the intelligence of Antonio Brown, but you have to kind of think of his mind like a 5-year-old, right? I mean, you win. If you win somewhere, you want to stay there. That's how he's going to be, right? You win. You have Tom Brady. You have all these guys. You're winning. That's the main thing with him. He's doing well. He's not going to a 2-14 team.
And not to mention, you guys brought this up again, Tyler Johnson is literally like he's Chris Godwin 2.0.
Yes.
He's that player, just without having to pay him as much as we would Chris Godwin. I mean, we've seen the catches the kid can make. We've seen it all year in the Big Ten last year. The kid's phenomenal. I mean, he's a great fill-in for Chris Godwin if we do happen to make a move to that ultimately results in not keeping Chris Godwin.
Well, I see it as a bonus for Chris. Also, his value with a ring on his finger will go up exponentially.
Yeah, no, 110%. Let's move on. Dominic says, drop that link. No link tonight, guys. We have our guests lined up. Some wonderful guests. Johnny says, Johnny, you said Bucs rotation is going to be key in this game in the second half. They have proved they can get through 4 quarters at a high level. Yes, they did. They proved that in the last couple weeks of the season. But that was a real question in the beginning.
And also, I think you touched on this a little bit ago, Jacob. If you look at those last 3 quarters against the Chiefs in the first time we played them, you would have thought we won that football game. If it wasn't for Tyreek Hill having 230 whatever yards at the end of the first quarter.
What a ridiculous game.
That was crazy.
I don't know if I could go downstairs and turn on Madden and do that right now. He's backflipping into the end zone. He's backpedaling into the end zone. I'm like, I can't turn on my PS4 and do this right now. It's crazy. But the final 3 quarters, we looked really good.
Yeah, what a great play. I love Tyreek Hill. I hate that you guys
saying about the Chiefs offense. They attack defenses like that. They get out there with their speed and stuff, and they wear a defense down, and that's not going to happen with our defense.
And if there's one team that can slow that down, although we didn't in that first quarter, it's our team. With our linebackers as fast as they are, our linebackers can pick up guys out of the backfield. I think Travis Kelce's the one guy that could have a big game against us this week. We'll see.
What did Tyreek Hill do the rest of the game though? Those last 3 quarters, right? Didn't he do nothing? You guys kind of shut him down in the second half.
I mean, yeah, we shut down their team. I don't even remember what they scored.
I think he had 1 catch in the fourth quarter, and that was it.
I think they scored 7 points in the final 3 quarters of that game. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Dominic says, hey, Jacob, I want to join. No link today. Sorry, man. Michael says, where are the good watch parties? As Peter said before, you could check out, at the Isla Deck Bar and Grill. It's a very complicated name, but check out Bucs Report on Sunday with Peter and all the guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's a great watch party. You should check it out.
I could actually answer that. Anywhere in Tampa.
Yeah.
On the edge of your seat. Where I'll be.
Deshaun says this defense will eat this week. 100%. We'll get to that in a second. Would you say the national media coverage has been slanted in favor of the Chiefs? Yes, just because Patrick Mahomes is the new face of the NFL, and the NFL is now geared towards younger kids, and that team is geared towards younger kids. I mean, I think that's the main reason for it. I want to get your guys' thoughts on that because I think that's a main reason why.
I think it's a two-edged sword. I think the Bucs have been getting a ton of coverage up here. That's all I see is Bucs. Now the picks. with the media's picks, it kind of slants toward the Chiefs. But as far as coverage goes, you barely see the Chiefs coverage up here. It's always, every time I turn the TV on, it's Bucks, 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 even in the Pittsburgh stations.
I think like a lot of it has to do with Patrick Mahomes being 25. He's a league MVP. He's a Super Bowl winner. I mean, you're going to get coverage out of a guy that is that talented, that young, and done as much as he has in the early part of his career. But I don't think the national media has been biased one way or the other.
Yeah. Deshaun, you're not scrambling up the middle. No, we're not. Remember, Jamel Dean did not play in the first game. Yes, we talked about that. Rumored Chiefs have linemen down. Yes, they're missing Mitchell Schwartz and Eric Fisher, 2 Pro Bowl offensive linemen, which is huge. Johnny, you said Bucks. Steph got to Mahomes last game. This game, the heat is going to be tuned up 110%, especially with those missing tackles like we were talking about. The best way to defend Hill and Kelsey is to hit Mahomes. Yeah, I guess so. Are there any players on either side out with COVID? Yes. I think there's one on the Chiefs. I forgot.
Yeah, there is.
Marcus Robinson will be out, like the 9th string receiver for the Chiefs. Yakin says, hopefully we send Mahomes to the hospital. That is correct. No, we will not be doing that. That is not something we want. I do like Patrick Mahomes as much as I want the Bucks to win this game. Will AB play? I believe so. Go Bucks. Yes, go Bucks. Yep. This says Mahomes 4 picks in the last 5 games. Yeah. I want to get on the show. Sorry, man. That's not happening.
Let's not forget Mahomes is coming into the game banged up as well. That toe is not feeling good. I mean, his concussion may have still been there last week, but he wasn't missing that game. So, but his concussion's probably cleared up now.
Yeah. Was that actually considered ruled a concussion, or was it a stinger because it was a neck injury?
I don't know. All I know he was playing regardless.
All I know is they probably lied. That's what I'm
Whether he was feeling wobbly or not, he was their best option.
Like, they weren't running with Chad Henne. The cannons won't fire, but we got a whole ship in the end zone regardless. There are things the Bucks can do. Yeah, I mean, you're playing in Tampa. Kelsey says yes. JJ Watt to Tampa. And I don't want to talk about the offseason right now, but yes, that's something we're certainly going to be talking about on the show in the future. He just wants to go behind that. Oh, God. Deshaun says you can hear Bruce Arians say once we win this game, they are trying to go back-to-back. That's the goal. I'm confident that the Bucks have the ability to compete hard with Kansas City. I don't think we can ask for more than that as fans. Bucks just need to step up and win the game. Yes. Mahomes threw 16 potential interceptions that got dropped this year, which is incredibly lucky. Yeah, that's something I talked about too, that there are a lot of passes that could have been picked off, but the drops is what it is. Those don't go in
I mean, you can say that a lot. That's why they're defenders, because they can't catch the ball. You can say that about a lot of quarterbacks.
Right. Dominic says, where's the link? Dominic, stop yelling at me. Akin says, the Jets have a bright future. It's just Jets slander for the rest. Jets have a bright future with Christian Hackenberg. I don't want to talk about it. Jets by 40. Great show tonight with all the guests. Thank you. Deshaun, no. All right. Anyone want Jimmy G? All right. Hey, JC Professor TV, what's up? You don't, Joshua says, you don't just let Chris Godwin go, you franchise tag and trade him. Maybe. We'll see. Got to sign 12. I think.
Well, then you also have to remember that you aren't putting somebody else on that franchise tag as well that you'd like to bring back.
Right. Shaq Barrett, especially, is the main guy. PS4, what is that? PlayStation 4, Mike? They don't have them in Canada.
That's a Canadian guy that doesn't leave the room.
Mike's got a new name for tonight's show.
Ramon says major media houses have been heavily slanted against Brady and the Bucks. I mean, literally every story is about Mahomes. Johnny, I think we disagreed with that before. Mike says, I say screw Mahomes. Bucks are a real nice story with the game being in Tampa. Yes. Mahomes is Garbo. Bucks will win. Yeah. Mike says Dominic wants on real bad. He does. Brady wants an undefeated season next year. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. You guys have to play the Jets. All right.
You kind of brought that up earlier, and I wanted to talk about that one.
Go ahead.
The season, next year's season. There's like 2 things that break off of Brady's itinerary so far, and that's an undefeated season and a 3-peat.
Yeah. 110%. All right, guys, I got to wrap this up. So, Johnny, you said you're not giving a final score prediction, but first, let's get where we can find you all over the place because you also got stuff going on.
I will give this, not a final score prediction, but I'm going to tell people that, look, this Super Bowl is special, not just for Bucs fans. It's going to live in history. It's the whole situation building up to this game everything involved in this game. Tom Brady coming to Tampa playing in the first home game ever in NFL history for a Super Bowl. This game is going to be special. So everybody who has ever complained about Bucks can't play in the limelight, well, this is the biggest limelight they're ever going to play in. Enjoy it. It's going to be a great game, no matter what. The matchups it's going to be fire. So everybody should enjoy this game and remember it. It's going to be in history. You're going to tell your grandkids about it.
Yes, 110%. All right, Johnny, I'll talk to you soon, man. Hopefully I'll see you next week.
All right, later, bud.
See you, man. Tyler, go ahead, promote yourself, tell us where we can find you, and if you will give us a final score prediction.
This is what I'll do. I'm going to give you a final score prediction only because I haven't been off by too much in the last couple of weeks. So I feel like I got to keep that streak running. I'm going to go 34-27 Tampa Bay. But I think it's going to, again, come down to some late drama. I feel like Mahomes is going to have the ball late in the game, and we're all going to be on the edge of our seats as Tampa fans and as football fans. But, something I want to piggyback off Johnny is this looking at it from a perspective of not being a Buccaneers fan, this is a very exciting Super Bowl where it's your first ever Super Bowl played where the team is playing in their home stadium, of course. You have Tom Brady, the GOAT, versus the future of the NFL and Patrick Mahomes. You have the largest separated age gap between quarterbacks playing in a Super Bowl against each other. There's a lot of cool things going on with this Super Bowl. And coming off a year, the worst year that we've probably seen as collectively as human beings, it feels like. Like Johnny said, this is a cool Super Bowl. This should draw tons and tons of fans to watch this game, and it's a shame we couldn't pack the stadium, but it's a cool thing they're doing to put those 7,500 nurses in there and frontline workers. So cool things happening all around. It'll be an exciting game, not only for football fans, but everybody around.
110%, man. I appreciate it. Hopefully I'll have you on soon again. I'm sorry I didn't give you more time. I had the lobby filled like crazy. I was not expecting it.
Commodity, man. This is Jacob Charnow. I know who I'm talking to.
Place to be, isn't it? All right, I'll talk to you soon, man. Hopefully I'll talk to you. All right, peace. All right. Yes, and Tyler's score was like eerily similar to mine. My final score prediction for this Super Bowl, the Super Bowl 55. Bucks Chiefs. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning this game in a very close one. I think it will be a shootout, 32-28. Very close game. And with that, we are going to wrap today from the Hard Count Football Podcast Live. My name is Jacob Charnow, and thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. Be sure to go check out every single person that was on the show tonight. Tyler, Johnny, Liam, Peter, Joshua, Deshaun, everybody. I appreciate you all for coming on tonight. Go check them out everywhere. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Jacob Charnow and on Instagram at Hard Count Football. As always, remember to check out the Hard Count Football Podcast Live every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern right here on the Hard Count Football YouTube channel and on Bucks Report. I have a feeling that this Sunday is going to be a really great game, so make sure you all enjoy Super Bowl Sunday. I'll see you next Tuesday. I'm going to run this thing out with ads.